One of the first things I need to address on this little Ranger before I get into the steering system on the front is the fact that it just doesn't crank over properly with the starter motor. It makes this horrible crunching noise. I'm going to do it, so block your ears. It's quite loud. Ready? Hit the key. So that noise there, what I think it is, I don't think it's the starter motor itself. I think it's the gear that it meshes with inside this housing, just inside there, like the starter motor clutch gear or whatnot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull it apart, figure out what I need to buy and get that ordered, and then I can move on to the steering. So let's get into it. So now that I've got the body off the Ranger just here, sat just over there, it's allowed me to get a bit more of an idea of what I need to take off regarding accessing the sprocket that's inside there. I feel like this is just like a drive belt cover and I'm gonna have to split the case. Next step is to get this off to try and get to that gear that's inside there. Let's get into it. So here we have the starter motor just here. The gear, as you can see, it's perfectly fine the whole way around. Maybe worn just a little bit off the tips. Nothing too crazy. I really feel that once I look inside there, I'm gonna find teeth missing, so let's have a look. Just as I thought, inside that hole, you can see teeth missing just there. As I come around, they're looking okay. But just there, check out those teeth. So that'll be why when I crank it, it cranks and then it scrapes, and then if I turn the engine a little bit more, it'll catch again and then crank and then scrape and then whatnot. So yeah, we need to address why that gear has done that. It's probably just old age. So I need to get access to that and then see if I can get parts. Now that we've got this cover off just here, you can see that is the sprocket that's missing the teeth. As it comes around, got no issue with the engagement on what I can only assume is the clutch. This little fella feels like it's got, potentially the spring has failed and it's like really wonky, so the engagement with the starter motor, so the engagement with that section of the starter motor there would have been probably pretty poor and on a bit of an angle, so that probably would have caused those teeth to just rip off and then no longer drive the motor when you try to start it with the starter motor. So it should be a pretty easy thing to replace. I'm going to check out eBay and see if I can find that little sprocket. Jesus Christ. They are in there. So in my last video, one of my subscribers mentioned that I'd installed these tyres around the wrong way. He mentioned that the arrows are supposed to point forward. I was in a mad rush to get these on just to get the video made and have a look what they look like. I paid no attention to the direction that they're supposed to be in, but I've also ran into another issue where the company that have sent me these, they haven't sent two pairs of the directions for left side and right side. I can correct all three of them, but there's one left over that is around the wrong way. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to take the tire off the rim, flip the tire around, put the tube back in, pump it back up and then get that happening. So yeah, let's get into it. So I went ahead and marked all the tyres. That one there, pointing backwards. This one here, the correct way. Left rear, the correct way. And then the right hand front, the correct way. So I'm left with this tyre that has to be flipped on the rim itself. So I'm absolutely stoked. These rims are actually tubeless. You can see there that there's no connection to any internal tube, so way more easier to get those tyres off rather than worrying about pinching the inner tube.